Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've got some updates. But before we get started on those updates, I do have some subscriber mail. One of you guys sent in, and actually it's kind of ironic. It's Phil Bethauser. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but if you guys remember, he was actually one of the winners in our 1 million view giveaway video a while back. So he sent me a little care package. We're going to open that up real fast, see what it is, and then we'll get on with the rest of the updates. I actually had to go back and start that over because I went to cut the box open and then I realized his address was showing, and didn't want to do that to you, Phil, so haven't looked inside yet. So let's see what we got. We got a note. I'll go ahead and check that out first. Hey Robert, I hope this regulator will help you with the Chaos Camaro build. Look forward to watching the build. Keep up the good work. I guess that's pretty obvious he sent us a regulator. So, oh yeah. Yeah, this is one of our tried and trues. If you guys don't know, I actually did a video testing one of these type of like eBay or Amazon style regulators a while back. And then I did a 1-year update video because after I did the first video, everybody was like, oh, that thing's going to take a shit in a week or something like that. And a year later, it was still going on our Turbo C10. But I really appreciate this. The thing is, I actually have another regulator that I was going to use because it was a different style regulator that came with different springs where you could use it with a carb application or EFI. And I'm going to try that one out because I wanted to do a review of it. But if that one ends up not working, then we got our old trusty regulator here that we already know works pretty well. So awesome. I appreciate that, Phil. I think I called you Brett a minute ago. I think I'm mixing your first name and your last name together, but sorry about that, man. I know who you are. With that out of the way, we're going to get to our topic of what we're doing today. And so these just came in, guys. These came in today. These are the drag radials we're going to be running on the DR Nova over here. Yeah, you might notice the China Vet's gone. The wife left her Camaro and took the Vet to work, as is the norm. So here's the deal with these guys. I got these from Discount Tire Direct online. And some of you who watch the channel on a regular basis are probably thinking to yourselves, didn't you just have like a huge fiasco with Discount Tire a couple months ago? Yes, I did, guys. And so here's the deal with that. I have had nothing but headaches with Discount Tire at my local stores here in Knoxville. But I have never, ever, not one time had an issue with Discount Tire Direct online. Every time I order my tires, they're here in like 2 days, guys. And that was the case with these two. I ordered them Sunday night, like probably about midnight. And no, I'm sorry. I take that back. I ordered them Monday night, probably about midnight. And it is Wednesday today, and they were sitting on my porch when I got home. So I had decided what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to deal with the local store anymore. I'm just going to go back to the way I used to do things before they opened a local store, and I'm going to order my tires from Discount Tire Direct online because I have a Discount Tire card, and also because they offer a lot of discounts when you buy online when you get to your final cart. Like these tires were supposed to be, these are the Nitto 555Rs. These were supposed to be $169 each, and then when I got to my cart, I got a $30 discount per tire. So that knocked the price down to $139 each. And then I also got a $30 rebate card. So you could say I paid, what, about $120 something for each one of these drag radials. So that's pretty awesome, guys. And what I'm about to do here in just a minute, we're going to take the wheels off the Nova. We're going to take it to Walmart, or take them to Walmart along with the tires, and just get them put on, mounted and balanced at Walmart. Now, the next question some of you may be wondering about is, after seeing me using the Mickey Thompson drag radials on different vehicles, why did I go with these Nittos? We all know the Nitto 55R does not hook like the Mickey Thompson drag radial. But what I also know after running these on the Turbo C10 is, while they don't hook as well as the Mickey Thompsons, what they do well is daily drive and wear, okay? These things last. They're not quite as soft of a compound as the Mickey Thompsons. They also have a better streak pattern to disperse water. They work really great in the rain, at least in anything I've put them on. Even in the Turbo C10, they did great in the rain, even at highway speeds. You might remember the video where we tried to drive them in the snow, though. That was a no-go. Ray didn't want a dedicated drag radial. We had talked about just getting a different set of wheels to put drag radials on and getting the Mickey Thompsons. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to try to get a tire that would hopefully hook well and that he could still, you know, drive it around on a regular basis without having to pay for tires after 3,000 miles. So that's why we went with the Nittos. The only issue we have is we are not quite sure if they are going to fit. We have a 8-inch rim here. The problem is it's got a 4-inch offset, or not offset, a 4-inch backspace. Most people that run a 275 wide on these Novas, they run a 4.5 or 5-inch offset. Now Ray had offered to buy another set of back wheels for this car with the right offset, but he likes these Riddler wheels and they do not offer these in the offset we need. And that's why I'm not just driving the car to Walmart and having them put the tires on there, because if they do rub, we might have to break out our fender flare, or our fender roller tool, and we might have to work these fenders a little bit to get them to fit in there. So I don't want to drive the whole car down there and then they put the wheel or the tires on the wheels and I can't drive it home because they're rubbing so bad. So what we're going to do now, we're going to pull the wheels off this car, throw them in the back of the Avalanche there, and yeah, throw the tires back there, go to Walmart, get them put on, and then we'll see how they fit. We might be in luck here, guys. These tires look like they're pretty close to the same size as the back tires that are already on it. As far as height wise, they're just a little wider. So yeah, if anything, we may just have to flare, or not flare, but roll the fender just a hair, just like maybe push the lip together where it's, you know, where the lip rolls under. We might just have to use our fender rolling tool to kind of mash it flat behind there to clear the extra width, because they look like they're pretty close to the same height when I set them here like this, and they are going to compress a little bit too, guys. Keep that in mind. So they may actually be just a hair shorter than the tires that are on it, but while they look pretty close to height wise, they are about 1.5 inches or 2 inches wider. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing how this turns out. I mean, you guys probably aren't going to believe this, but just for shits and giggles, I decided to try my new Milwaukee M18 1/4 inch. I don't know what you call this. I don't know if you call it a nut driver, or if you would call it a impact, because it functions pretty much like an impact, but you know, it takes the 1/4 inch things here. Well, I've got these adapters for different sizes, so I got my impact that fits the lug nuts here, and I've already loosened the other ones, but man, I'm telling you, this little thing's got some torque. It just ripped them right off. Get this last one here. I mean, it just pulls them right off. Like, I was gonna spend the $300 and buy one of those big Milwaukee 1/2 inch impacts. It has like 1,400 foot-pounds of torque or whatever, but shit, I might not need to. Now that I've got one of the wheels laying in here, I just wanted to show you the difference in width here. You can see the new tires, yeah, they're probably about 1.5 inches wider. These are 245/60s, and our new drag radials are 275/50s, as I already said. So yeah, they're about 1.5 inches wider, about the same height, and way more sticky than these were. It is freaking hot, so I hope you can hear me over the sound of this air conditioner in this Avalanche. And let me just turn it down. I should be good with it there. Anyway, while we're on our way to Walmart, I just wanted to kind of tell you guys what was going on. So we're hoping to take the Nova to the drag strip this Saturday. So that's in like, what, 3 days? You guys that follow the Facebook group, you already know this, because I posted something about it a couple days ago. And what I also posted was I'm just gonna be straight up honest. I kind of feel like an ass because wide bands, guys. The only wide bands I've ever used have been the AEM. I think it's the 30-4110. So those are the only wide bands I've ever used. I have never had a single problem with any of them, guys. None of them. As a matter of fact, the one that is currently in the China Vet, I've had that one for about 4 years, and I probably tuned about 10 different vehicles with it. And finally, I decided to permanently mount it in the Corvette because, you know, the connections where I kept taking it or installing it and uninstalling it to tune other vehicles, the connections were getting kind of loose on it. So I decided what I wanted to do is just permanently install that one and buy me a new one to start using on different vehicles when I tune. So I bought, again, another AEM 4110 because I've got such a good track record with them. Well, it's in the Nova currently, temporarily installed, and what happened was it lasted about 100 miles and it has taken a shit. I was able to get the VE table pretty much completely dialed in, guys, but I have not touched the MAF tables yet. And what happened was it was working great, and all of a sudden I was sitting at a stoplight and it just started going lean, and then it maxed out, went dead lean, and so it's not showing anything. It's just showing dead lean all the time. And I think probably the sensor just crapped out on it. But what really sucks about that is, unless I want to pull my sensor out of the China Vet Saturday, we're not going to have any way to monitor the air fuel ratios on the DR Nova, and we're also just going to be running off the SD tune because I haven't touched the MAF yet. I don't really have a problem with that. Like I said, I had the SD tune pretty close all the way up to Redline. I know a lot of tuners just tune the VE table when they're using the MAF. They just tune the VE table up to about 3,000 RPMs. I like to tune the whole VE table. That's part of the reason it takes me so long to tune things. I like to tune the whole table just in case something happens and the MAF stops functioning properly. That way, you know, if you're still hammering on it, giving it hell, it's still tuned, you know. But it just sucks, guys. I contacted AEM. They want me to pull the sensor and, you know, do the little brake clean test to check the sensor, and I guess I just need to do that and get back with them. But it's beautiful and hot today, but the last 2 days it's just been piss pouring rain since I discovered that the sensor, you know, that my wideband wasn't working. So since the Nova is parked outside right now, I haven't been able to do it. I've also been working really late hours, but I don't know. We may figure that out tonight. We may check that out depending on how these tires fit. If I get home and I've got to do a lot of work on the fenders, and then I'm probably not going to get around to the wideband in this video. But if I get home, slip the wheels and new tires on, and they fit, and they're not rubbing or anything, or looking like they're gonna rub, then we may just test that wideband sensor out real quick, and that way I can get back with the AEM rep about it. Okay, guys, we got our drag radials mounted on the wheels here. Look pretty good. So here comes the moment of truth. Will they fit? Well, the initial answer is hell yeah. They do fit. They are sticking out past the lip, but you can see I can get 2 fingers in there, guys, which is more than I can say for, well, never mind. We've got the same amount of clearance as we did with the old wheels up and down, but these wheels do stick out, or these tires do stick out farther. So we may still, if we get any rubbing, we may still have to roll this fender a little bit to try to pull it out past where the tire is. But right now we're looking pretty good, and the jack is actually under the axle, So that's why I haven't lowered the car yet, but I'm already saying we look good, because right now all the way to the car is still on the axle. So yeah, this is nice. I'm gonna get the other side on, and yeah, we'll talk about it. I think we are totally good. We've got it off the jack. You can see we've got plenty of clearance here. Actually, now that they're mounted on the rims, I think these tires might actually be just a touch shorter than the old ones. They actually look like they're a little bit shorter than the front tires up there. Of course, the old ones were shorter than the front tires too, and Ray's already said he's wanting to get a slightly shorter front tire for it, just so it matches a little better. But yeah, I think we're good. Somebody want to jump up and down on the bumper a little bit? Oh yeah, I think we are totally good. We're not even coming close to rubbing. Okay, so the tires are on. Now guys, Walmart was kind of busy, so it took a little bit longer than expected to get these drag radials mounted and balanced. So I am running out of daylight here, but I would still like to check out this wideband and kind of see what's going on with it. So that's what I'm going to do. And of course, when I come out here to test it, it decides to start working. Now, there it went. It just went to dead lean, and I know it's not dead lean. Okay. So that's what it's been doing, guys. It's been starting and just going to dead lean. So I contacted Aem, and they gave me a little procedure to check the sensor itself and see if that's the problem. So that's what we're going to do now. So all that really involves doing is going under the car here. I'm going to unscrew the sensor. We're going to set the sensor on the ground. I've got enough harness, I should be able to do that. And we're going to key on, and the sensor should read full lean like it just did, because it's being exposed to outside air. At that point, we're going to take a rag and soak the rag with brake clean, wrap it around the sensor, and you want to be careful when you do this because the sensor is going to be hot. We're going to wrap it around the sensor, and the sensor should go to dead rich. Then when we remove the rag, it should pretty quickly go back to dead lean. So that's what I'm doing right now. Hey, so you can see our sensor kind of hanging here. So what I'm going to do, I want to go get my rag ready with brake clean. We're going to turn this on. I'm going to have probably Skylar or Tracy sit in the car and read the sensor and tell me what it's doing when I wrap the brake clean rag around it. I got Skylar in the car. The key is forward currently. It is showing full lean, right? Yep. All right, so I'm going to soak my shop towel here with brake clean. And because this is hot, I'm going to be very careful. And I'm just going to wrap the rag around the sensor. Is it doing anything? Nope. Still not doing anything? Nope. We'll give it just a second. So it's still buried at full lean. Yep. I have the rag. You guys can see I've got the rag completely around it, like it's not getting any outside air, and it is hot. The sensor is hot. I can feel it through the rag. Still nothing? Nope. All right, turn the key off. And according to Aem, guys, that means that this sensor is in fact bad, which it should not be with less than 100 miles of runtime on it. So at this point, I'm going to go in here and write, I'm not even going to screw this back in. I'm going to write an email to Aem and let them know that yes, the sensor's bad, and hopefully they will be nice enough to send me a replacement. The last thing I did is I wanted to cover up the drag radials to make sure they don't get overexposed to the sun. This is actually one mistake that I made on Project Steppenwolf. Now these drag radials are made of a lot softer rubber than regular tires, and it's the same thing with slicks, guys. It's even worse with slicks actually, but if you leave them sitting out in direct sunlight a lot, what happens is the rubber, instead of being like a soft, sticky, pliable compound, it actually turns into almost like a spongy material and loses all its grip. So yeah, we went ahead and wrapped the wheels up for now while the car is outside. So the drag radials are on. We're prepped for this weekend. It kind of sucks about the wideband, and the thing is, even if Aem sends me a new sensor, I know it's probably not going to be here in the next 2 days for me to use it. So at this point, I'm going to decide if I just want to pull my sensor out of the China vet out there, or if I want to just throw the factory O2 sensor back in there for now and wait on my replacement sensor. Either way, although we can't really monitor fueling while we're at the track Saturday, we can still monitor knock and adjust our timing, things like that. And as I mentioned earlier, the VE table is pretty much dialed in, guys. It's really close at this point. I got it really close before the sensor went out. So we can just run it in SD mode for now and play around with the timing and see what we're gonna run in it. Bottom line is, nobody on this channel has been at the track in like 2 months now, so we're gonna have fun any way it goes. So make sure you stay tuned for the next video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, think about clicking that subscribe button down there in the corner. Thanks again for watching. Now get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.